Hello everybody and welcome to my latest video. I thought I'd just get this one in today because I've been struggling with my drawing. I'm actually starting drawing again today. I had a bit of a bad cold, so hopefully I can get back on track now. This, you might remember, was a video I did on burnishing, and this is on Bristol smooth paper with Faber Castell Polychromos coloured pencils and Caran Luminance. And this was a video explaining how I blend with the burnishing technique. And with the burnishing technique, because you're pressing down onto smooth paper, then you haven't got a lot of room after burnishing for adding other layers and details. So I wanted to show you some stuff today to do with the blending materials that I do use to give myself a chance of more layers and more detail. Just showing you some of the pencils I use here, Polychromos and Caran. And now I'm going to move on to the actual stuff I use, and this is odorless white spirit. This is an artist quality, and it costs about €9 a bottle, I think. This is quite a big bottle. It's about €8, and I use this little jar to pour a little bit of the liquid in. Whoops, don't let that roll away. I use this jar to pour a little bit of the liquid in, and then I close it on each use. So I dip my brush in and then close the lid to stop the fumes coming out. And then I use toilet paper or kitchen towel to dab the brush, because the last thing you want to be doing is, say you're blending a black colour and then using the same brush for yellow or orange or a light colour. So always dab your brushes, and these are a selection of brushes that I use, and I always use a different brush for each colour that I'm blending, so then that also stops, you know, the mixing of colours happening or mistakes. One thing I want to touch on with this is odorless, as you can see, white spirit. The odorless, this is a myth and a fallacy. The odorless does not mean that it's non-toxic. It's still toxic, it's still poisonous. Odorless just means that it's got no smell. It's exactly what it says on the bottle. It's odorless, it doesn't smell, but it doesn't mean that it's not poisonous anymore. They don't take the poison away, they only take the smell away. So always wear a mask or work in a ventilated room. This is my new stuff that I'm going to use. This is a Zest pencil blend, and this is made in the UK. And this cost about £6 a bottle, €5. It's an 125mm bottle, and it's used to blend coloured pencils, wax pencils, and oil pastels. I haven't really used it that much yet, so it's pretty new to me. It's got a lemon zesty smell, but again, you can smell the lemon zest, but this is just masking the toxicity of it. It's still poison, it's still not good. On the bottle it says danger may be fatal if swallowed and enters airways. If swallowed, do not induce vomiting, get immediate medical advice, attention. Repeated exposure may cause skin dryness, cracking. Wash hands after use. If eye contact, rinse with plenty of water. Keep away from children. Contains aliphatic hydrocarbon. Now, I don't know what hydrocarbon is, but I'm sure it's not very good, and it's very toxic. And as you can see there, for use with coloured pencil and pastel, for underpainting and blending, using tortillion, cotton bud, or brush. So yeah, you can use it not just with brushes, but with tortillions and cotton buds as well, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. The one thing I will like to add is please work in a ventilated room. I'll talk about that in a little while a bit more, but these are just some normal cotton buds or Q-tips. I usually use these more with graphic pencils than I do with coloured pencils, but they are quite good. These ones I use with graphite the more because they've got this nice rounded end, and you can really blend well with those. But you can get a different sort of a different blend than you get with a brush, with the Q-tips, with the cotton buds. And for the graphite pencil, I use a normal standard tissue sometimes. I don't use this with a coloured pencil, I only use this with a graphite. And you might be thinking, a tissue, what the hell's a tissue going to do? But with a tissue you can bend it into all different shapes and bend it over and use the different edges. You know, some of these edges are really lovely and smooth, and give an even softer touch than a cotton bud, believe it or not. So a tissue is a really handy thing to use for graphite blending, so don't rule that out if you haven't tried it. Give it a go. This is some pure linseed oil. Now, when I first started my art, I used to, as a lot of you will know, I used to do some pop art paintings and stuff like that, oil paintings, acrylic paintings, and I used to use this linseed oil to mix. I have actually been thinking or toying with using it for coloured pencils, so maybe that'll be in a future video, and maybe I can let you know what happens. These are the tortillions, or blending stumps as they're known. I usually use these for graphite, but as you can see on this one, there's a bit of colour on the end of that one, red and brown. So I do use these for coloured pencils as well, and they can be quite useful. So yeah, what I'd like to say about using white spirits or Zestic pencil blend: wear a mask if you can. Always close the bottle that you're using on each application. So when you dip the brush in, always close the bottle. Always work in a room with an open window. And when you've finished a session of, when you've done a little bit of blending, then get out of the room and go back a bit later when it's dried. Now I'd just like to show you some of the blending that I've done. You can see here that you can cover a large area with a brush. And the beauty of this is you get to spread your pencil across that paper and across that area, and you get to cover all those little white bits that you usually miss out. So it's really good for covering the paper, and the beauty of it is you can still layer upon layer afterwards. Use layer upon layer. This was an eye tutorial I did, and I never intended this to be anything to do with blending really. And the fur around the edge I didn't really pay a lot of attention to because it was an eye tutorial. But as you can see here, just a few light applications of pencil and then use the brush for blending, and you can get a really lovely technique. You can probably hear my dog walking around in the background, that's Jessie. Yeah, and with this technique, with this using 5 or 6 layers of pencil and then going in with the white spirits or the pencil blend, you can get a really smooth look, and then you can still go in with loads of layers afterwards. So it's really good. You can still get the detail in there. So yeah, it's up to you what you use. Give it a go. I will probably continue using the white spirit. It just depends how it goes with a pencil blend. I'm going to try and use the pencil blend on my new Pastel Mat paper, so I'll do a video on that. And I'm also going to do a video on a Zesty blending sponge that I've got. Blending sponge that is for use with the Zesty pencil blend. So these are just some of the pictures that I've done with blending. So thanks to all my subscribers, thanks to everybody who comments on my videos, and I will see you all on the next one. Thanks for watching. Ta-ra.